I'd like to welcome everybody to Taft City Council Successor Agency Joint Regular Meeting for Tuesday, July 16th. As a courtesy to all, please turn off your cell phones or to vibrate or off completely as a courtesy. Any writings or documents provided to the majority of the City Council regarding any item on this agenda are made available to a public inspection in the lobby of Taft City Hall during normal business hours. May I have a Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman.
We stand for the flag salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And invocation, Father Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Heavenly Father, we come to you at this moment. We ask you to keep peace, harmony, and love within our decisions we make today. Bless our city council. Bless our city. And Father, let us remember right now our friends up in Ridgecrest and what they're going through. We ask you to put a loving arm on them, to touch them and bless them, and keep us safe from the same reaction. In and through the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Bob. May we have roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer.
Here.
Councilmember Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Evelyn.
Here.
Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
And Mayor Knorr is absent with notice.
Thank you. The first order of business is a public hearing, Landscape Maintenance District Number 1.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The engineer's report for Landscape Maintenance District Number 1 was received at the City Council meeting June 4th, 2019. The parcel assessment will remain the same levels as last year, $86. These assessments, when collected, will go to their respective funds to pay for maintenance and operation of landscape lighting district.
I open up this meeting for public comment. Do I see anybody out there? Yeah, we got something to say. Please, come on to the podium.
Good afternoon. This is Aaron Nadal and Bart McClain representing the Westside Recreation and Park District. We're just letting you guys know that we have the Regional Pacific Babe Ruth Tournament going this weekend and next week. We have teams from all over. State of California. We have teams from Hawaii, from Guam, from Lake Tahoe. They're starting this next Sunday. The opening ceremonies are going to be at the Rec, 5:30. Going to have some speeches and we hope 500 people show up. And we'd just like to let you people know about it. And we'd also like to give you one of the Babe Ruth medals. So that's why we're here.
May I stop you there for a moment?
Yes.
Right now, we're having a public hearing on our landscape maintenance deal, and during public comment, we'll have you come back up here again and
Okay.
you have your practice.
Perfect. I thought that was now.
No, we're having a.
Sorry, so tell me to shut up.
You did a hell of a job, Bart. You're just so good we couldn't let you stop.
You tried.
No, we'll stay right there. We'll have something here. It'd be better when we do our presentation for a proclamation. Not a problem. Now, do I hear anybody in the audience who'd like to make a public comment on the landscape maintenance in District 1? Hearing none, I closed public comment and open up to the council members here. Anybody have anything to add to it? Or?
I'll make the motion
Second.
to accept the resolution.
Good.
Can we actually state the motion, read it?
Uh,
Yeah, I'll make the motion in order to read the resolution of the city council. I hear one.
I think we need to have somebody make the motion, and I would make this motion as a resolution of the City Council of the City of Taft, setting the assessment for landscaping lighting district number 1. Is that what you're looking for, Mr. Attorney?
Yes, thank
You
you.
got it. I'd make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
And I seconded.
Okay. Yeah, any further comment? Okay. This is just, we don't vote on this at all, do we?
Yes.
We do? Okay. Roll call?
Sorry, was there any discussion?
No
Discussion, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem Cryer,
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn,
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting,
Yes.
passes on a 4-0.
Item number 2, public hearing for SB2 Planning Grants Program. And I open up to the public. Over here. Go ahead, do your presentation.
Okay, just to start, I know public hearings are the first thing on the agenda. I want to give the council a chance to maybe do some of the other items beforehand so the rec district folks can get back to work or anything like that. Just want to put it out there if you want to table me or...
It'd be more than an hour.
No, but even 15 minutes. I mean, I want the audience, but okay. I was just
What do you
providing that
recommend?
opportunity.
Just go ahead and carry on.
Go ahead and carry on with the
Okay.
presentation.
All right. At our last meeting, actually a couple meetings now, I briefly mentioned that when we concluded the process for the CPAT review of downtown Taft, that we were going to move on to the next step, which is updating the downtown specific plan, which is getting a lot of information from that CPAT review. And at the same time, one of the state housing bills, Senate Bill 2, is providing a planning grants program that I think will be very advantageous for the city to take advantage of. So Senate Bill 2 was approved in 2017, one of the last sign-offs. You guys have the presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. By Governor Brown. It's part of a 15-bill housing package. It's providing, this one in particular is providing financial and technical assistance to counties and cities, and it's specifically designed to accelerate housing production. If you've seen all the different news ads, news stories, where not enough housing is being built in the state. So this is an attempt to accelerate that. And this particular bill has $123 million in funding available. The timeline, and I'm going to go kind of stage by stage as if you were in the training session workshop I was in, but a faster version. The notice was released just this past March. Workshops were to be held through April through May, but our local workshop at the Kern Cog office actually occurred on June 5th. The applications are due by November 30th, and in the documentation for this grant, it does state that the minimum award is $25,000, but the maximum for small cities such as ourselves is actually $160,000, with medium-sized cities at $310,000, and then the largest cities, largest metros at $625,000. And the grant term is to end, or the projects need to be done by June 30th of 2022. So the only applicants that are eligible are cities and counties. There's no other housing groups or anything like that with this particular bill. However, we can partner with other regional governments, and the multi-jurisdictional partnerships are encouraged but not required, and it does not improve the application approval. So the eligible activities, there's 2 slides here, but the main ones that most jurisdictions will go after on this first page here, particularly the first bullet, where an update to general plans, community plans, specific plans, other local activities are implementing sustainable community strategies and coastal plans. You can update your zoning ordinance, environmental analysis, expediting local planning processes. One of the last ones there, smaller geography, where it has a significant impact on housing production. That's the main theme with this bill, is how to conduct a project that will have a significant impact on housing production. So you could either create an creation or enhancement of housing sustainability districts, look to provide workforce housing opportunities, create zoning by right for supportive housing, zoning incentives for persons with special needs, and so on and so forth. These are not as much of the projects. Too many areas will implement unless they're probably limited in land area. They have to get creative with their housing elements. The eligible uses, the grant funds are to be used for the cost of preparing and adopting the proposed project from one of those items on the list. They may not be used for administrative costs unless they're directly related to the proposed project, and the max on that is 5% of the total award. And any work after the noticing date is what can be reimbursed. So any of the work we've done since, but it's been minimal to this point, and I think whatever we go for, all the money's going to go towards this a future consultant to help us with this project. The program threshold requirements, which are things that cities need to have completed to qualify. We need a housing element compliance, which is a submitted and adopted housing element to the Housing and Community Development at the state. We submitted that at the end of 2015, and we're in compliance there. The second item, the annual progress report for years 2018 and 2017. Council approved that back in April, and that's submitted for 2018, and we did that in 2017 as well, so we're good there. And then the application needs to have that nexus to accelerating housing production. So somehow through timing, cost, approval certainty, streamlining the entitlement process, and enhancing housing supply and affordability. So the other examples in accelerating the housing production, the state has created what's called priority policy areas. So as we mentioned before, rezoning to permit by right, particularly for multifamily projects, objective design and development standards for projects, specific plans or form-based codes coupled with CEQA streamlining, and I think that's the direction we're going. I had mentioned the downtown specific plan in prior meetings, but others are looking at is jurisdictions to enhance their or promote accessory dwelling unit development, expedited processing, and then housing related infrastructure financing. Other priorities of the program is to promote infill and equity, resource protection, efficient development patterns, affordability and housing choices, conservation of the existing housing stock, and then climate adaptation, particularly with regard to flooding, fire safety, and hazard mitigation. So, as I mentioned, the workshop at KernCog on June 5th was a technical assistance workshop. The state has provided regional liaisons for each region, and for Kern County and actually the Central Valley, we've been assigned Sarah Allender with Provost and Pritchard. If you recognize the name, she helped the city in the process for updating our general plan, and she goes as far back as the 2010 attempt at the adoption and the amendment we made in 2017 when we settled with the Sierra Club on the project. So she's familiar with Taft, she's familiar with the area, she's been working in the Central Valley for a while, she's a real professional planner, so she's our contact on this. And then she's going to assist me in completing the required application documents. Some of the early cities that have completed theirs have provided a lot of good examples of what information the state's looking for with these applications. So the proposed project to utilize these funds. We've been working through particularly the Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee in enhancing Taft. We've gone through the signage project, and one thing we've been talking about for a while now is updating the downtown specific plan. These are the covers. It was originally adopted in 1994 with an update in 1999, and our general plan and zoning code doesn't really reference this much, but there isn't much difference in what the specific plan allows and the zoning code allows. The uses aren't necessarily restricted one way or the other, and there isn't a lot of design standards to follow to enforce in the downtown area. But one thing that's come up through the council and the years I've been here through the Planning Commission is an update to this, a plan that helps preserve the architecture and that old downtown style that downtown Taft has. And the project area has always been the downtown area from Kern Street to the north, pretty much down to about Main Street in the past, but with Rails to Trails as a redevelopment area with all the industry gone there, this project and the update to the downtown specific plan would include those properties down to Front Street. So the project is that I'm proposing to the council and I'm hoping for support on is the update of the plan, and then hitting some of those points that the program's looking for. So as much by right permitting as we can do through the process for projects. CEQA streamlining, for the most part, most projects aren't big enough to need a big CEQA review process. But if we can utilize this to produce a negative declaration that all the projects can tier off of and make the projects that much easier to get through the process, the more we could probably get various projects in both commercially and residentially. Residential focus site areas, if you recall, the CPAC kind of had this big, broad vision of housing units coming to downtown. It was more of just the math. There is this many acres, you could fit these many units. We can get more focused on what areas would be more advantageous to have residential development, mixed use, standalone, and other varieties in between. As you saw before in the bullet points for the project, objective architectural and design standards. So developers know exactly what they're getting into with what kind of projects we're looking for. And then again, expediting the planning and permit review process. And then I have in bold in the bottom there because I've been talking about all things residential. The one thing in this workshop that we had is that they don't have too much of a concern that the money goes towards developing this specific plan, even though it has a lot of commercial areas or aspects to it, so long as the project as a whole goes towards promoting residential development. So as long as we do that and we show how we're hitting those milestone points in developing the plan, we should be okay with the application being approved by the state. The recommendation at the bottom there is to ask for all $160,000. The council has already budgeted about $80,000 to be split over 2 fiscal years, so that's a total of $240,000 that we could potentially put towards this project. So those additional benefits that could come from this project and what these funds can provide, again, the focus site analysis. We can have additional workshop and public input meetings, so we know it's not just what the city is wanting, it's what the public is wanting as well. A lot of times the budget will allow for maybe 1 public meeting, maybe 2, and you try to get as much public input as possible, but you can't be going 5-6 times because the budget just wouldn't allow it. You got consultants coming all the way from LA, whatever it may be. The funding can help us really nail down some good downtown design standards. Those standards would apply either broadly or uniquely to the Rails to Trails area, and then each of the main corridors of Center, North, and Kern streets, and even the north-south numbered streets. One of the main things that could definitely be we could get some assistance on is there's this SB 35, which is a streamlined ministerial approval process. This is a different bill that isn't one of the 15 housing bills where the state's trying to really push cities to meet their affordable housing numbers. So we'll go over more details on that because I don't want to go sideways talking about SB 35, but that's one thing that the consultant can incorporate into this project. Since there's a fair amount of land where we could get enough affordable units into market rate units as well, that it shouldn't be too much of a process to go through. But we'll hit those details at a later date. So the project application review and award, per the year 1 guidelines, section 500, the program will not initially utilize a competitive process to award the funds. The funds will be available to eligible applicants upon request over the counter. The funds will be available for an 8-month over the counter period. As I mentioned before, application needs to be in by November 30th. which is commencing from the date the application was available in March. So at the workshop and in the paperwork, they're claiming this is over the counter. The only over the counter part is it's not competitive. It probably will be 2-3 weeks to get through all the applications because there's over 400 cities and 50 plus counties, and pretty much that funding funds every single entity. So there shouldn't be anybody left out unless they don't apply, or maybe there are half a dozen, maybe a dozen cities that actually haven't completed a housing element in 10, 20 years. So those are the ones who are probably going to lose out, unfortunately.
If they don't apply, could that lead to additional apportionment for those who do?
Yes. The part I left out is if there are additional funds available, they will notify all the applicants that did get in, and people can apply for that as well. So the next steps, our first step is this evening, the public hearing for comments. We'll come back in the first meeting in August based on direction from you and a completed application. There is a required resolution to adopt that I'll have you review and adopt, and that'll go with our application to the state, and I plan to have that application ready for you at the August 6th meeting, and then we'll submit the application shortly after the resolution adoption, and then we'll publish a request for proposals later in the fall. So I believe that's the proposal. I know we've been talking about an update to the downtown specific plan for a while, but that's the direction I am recommending to you for applying for these SB2 funds. I don't know much about SB3 and beyond or whatever the other 13 housing bills are, but this is the one we really should target because it's pretty rare. Our city manager dealing in public works, and even our city clerk, who's our grants manager, administrator, excuse me, they normally don't give us money to prepare the plans. We have to prepare the plans with our own money, then we get the project money. So this is a rare opportunity here. And that concludes my presentation.
Sounds like a good opportunity.
Yeah. And for the public hearing part, if anybody does have comments or questions, please fill this out for the record.
Anybody in the public like to address the council? Hearing none, I'll open up to the council members here. Any comments?
I know you got some. Mark, great job. Keep it up. And we're long overdue. I mean, we haven't done this for 25 years. It's probably 10 years past due, at least. And it's an opportunity for us to use state money to do a plan that's going to help us in the long term. So keep it up and look forward to having that report back on the 6th.
Thank you.
Councilman Whiting?
Mark, again, thank you for the presentation. Are you going to put in for up to the max, which is 160,000?
Yes, and that was highly recommended by the liaison, Ms. Hollander.
Good job, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I don't have no comment either. So we'll direct the staff then to identify the projects and to apply for the SB2 planning grant program. That'll be our directions for the staff.
Do you have any action on that?
There's no action,
No, actual direction.
just direction only.
Sounds
We get some
good.
direction, staff?
I think that's a good plan.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
We need a vote on that. We just,
Direction to staff. The action will be on August 6th.
okay, thank you.
Thank you,
very
Mark.
much. We have a proclamation coming up for Babe Ruth Baseball Regional Championship Week, and I'm going to have Councilman Josh Bryant read the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you for grabbing that. Kind of hard to read a resolution I don't have memorized. All right. I'm proud on behalf of the city of Taft to read this proclamation that declares July 21st to the 28th of 2019 as Babe Ruth Baseball Regional Championship Week here in the city. Whereas the West Side Recreation and Park District has been serving the west side of Kern County since 1947, and whereas the West Side Recreation and Park District will be hosting the 2019 Babe Ruth Regional Championships in Taft. And whereas the West Side Recreation and Park District, along with the city of Taft, will play host to 10 Babe Ruth teams that have won their respective state championships, and have qualified for this regional championships, with teams representing Guam, Hawaii, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and California are participating. And whereas the winner of this championship tournament will move on to the Babe Ruth World Series in North Dakota. And whereas the regional championships will be held at the beautiful Taft Union High School District's baseball fields, Monty Reedy Field, with the opening ceremonies being held at the Recreation Center of the Westside Recreation and Park District on July 21, 2019. And whereas this event will allow Taft a chance to showcase our hometown hospitality and will bring hundreds of people to the area, producing a welcome economic stimulus to the West Side. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Taft does hereby proclaim July 21st through the 28th, 2019 as the Babe Ruth Regional Baseball Championship Week in the City of Taft, dated the 16th day of July 2019, signed by the Mayor and the other 4 City Council members. All right. I think Aaron and Bart, you guys are on your way up here. I think you stole mine, Bart. You came up and told everybody about it before I had a chance to read. Up here? It's going to be a nightmare because
We've got all this stuff here.
We're
We're gonna step off the podium, Josh is, since we're playing Jingle.
You guys pick these up and come by.
It's just congratulations. Thank you. Aaron. Thank you. I'm here to meet you guys. Get in the middle. Here, get in the middle. Hold up with those guys. What's he doing?
Another full step that way. Center? Come on, get second.
You need a photo op place or a model.
It'll be easier once this is all down to go that way.
What's that?
Mr. Mayor, City Council, it's an honor to receive this proclamation on behalf of Westside Recreation and Park. We gave you guys all a commemorative pin for the tournament that's going on this weekend. Tonight, actually, the Northwest Baseball team that'll be participating is playing an Australia team, and there'll be another game tomorrow evening. So we invite the community, everybody to come out, enjoy yourselves next weekend, starting Sunday for the opening ceremonies. Got a lot of fun things prepared for the community, and the visitors are coming in. It's going to be an outstanding week. And once again, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And I'd like to thank the West Side Recreation Department, because they've been a big asset to our city and to the community here at large. And to do something that large and recognition should bring a lot of business here to Taft economically and also socially, as far as seeing our great city. And that's why I thank the park for that, because it's an excellent program and great exposure. Any
Said it well.
other
Perfect.
comments?
I believe that's true.
Good.
So thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen,
It's
for
an
taking the time to come down. Thank you.
Yeah. Next is a citizen's request for public comment. At this time and place, and for the general public to address the City Council on matters within the jurisdiction, state law prohibits the council from addressing any issues not previously included on the agenda. Council may receive comments and set the matters for a subsequent meeting. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. And the first would be Sharon Corporation. Sherry Wrightmore.
Hi, council members. How are you? We're Sharon Corporation, and you might have seen us around in our green T-shirts and about town and stuff. But we are a nonprofit organization, as you know. We started off just with sandwiches and passing about 3 years ago, which has turned now into full course meals where we're feeding 40 to 60 people every single night, and that's families. It's amazing. It's all ages, all different demographics, and no one's turned away. And what's really great is everyone here, as you can see, they're all homeless, and the very people that we served are now serving. So they step up, they get their food handlers permits, they actually cook, they do all the food, the gleaning, the inventory, and also this is our team. When you see us wearing these t-shirts, it's our Sharon team doing good for nothing. And so we have gone out, we've cleaned alleyways, and just for no reason at all, just to love back our town. And so the more our group just starts believing and loving themselves, and the more they start stepping out and loving others. And so it's been a really great thing. And we love our Taft, we love our city. And so it's been a great thing. And here's an offering that our group made today for you guys. And we wear these S's for superheroes, just so you know. So these are all kinds of cookies in our green, heart cookies in our green with a big super S on it for Sharon. And wanted to let you know, please come, you guys. Everyone's invited to our meals. Everyone, 5:30 to 6:30. Our police department's awesome, by the way. You guys have been amazing with us. And so 5:30, 6:30, and we are located at 503 5th Street, and you know where that is, 5th and Woodrow, St. Andrews. And so we are coming on our third year anniversary, which is August 18th. And everyone, the whole entire community, please come. And the collective, because everyone votes, everyone chooses what they want to do. And so the menu for that night is the original, what you guys? Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and bologna and cheese sandwiches. So that's what's going to be served on that night with our cookies and chips and Kool-Aid. So we're also going to have Homeless Has Talent. And anyway, just come be part of us, because really we're just a cool group. We sing, we dance, and we have a great time. And we really get out there. So let us love you guys, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any comments? Or
Thank you, Sherry.
No,
Thank you for your
thank-
service and cleaning the alleyways.
Thank you,
Very
Sharon.
appreciative. Okay, see no other. Council statements, none action?
I don't have anything, Mr. Pro Tem.
Okay.
Nor do I, Mr. Mayor.
Josh, nothing?
No, sir.
And I will refrain too. Speed things up a little bit. Department reports?
We do have one day.
Okay. Our chief, pardon?
It's huge.
It's going to be a swearing in of the laws.
I just wanted to introduce our newest member of the Taft Police Department to the City Council, and our mayor, who decided not to show up today. I'll give him a call about that. And Jason, our attorney, and Yvette, and our city manager, Craig, we wanted you to meet our newest member of the Taft Police Department, which is Garrett Sanford. Come on up, Garrett. We actually reached out and poached Garrett. I should say we borrowed Garrett from the Kern County Sheriff's Department Academy. Sorry, Jeff. And it's a great find for us. He's going to fit in with the city well. He's off to a good start. He's his FTO trainer back there, Steve Schmeck's, doing a great job with him, and he's moving forward. And he's actually, I got news that he's actually put a bid on a house here in Taft. So he's one of those individuals that we're going to welcome to the city, and the ones that we have, because they have skin in the game. We love it. So I just wanted to introduce you to Garrett Sanford.
Thank you.
And now we're going to have our city clerk come up here and swear him in. And he'll probably have to eat some green cookies.
Hey, take it back to the squadron.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Garrett Sanford,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties of which I'm about to enter.
And he's a serviceman too, so we love that for sure. We don't make you give speech.
Chief, you gotta break him in right.
I know that he was recklessly stolen from our academy, the sheriff's department. I really can't argue because so is everybody else. Everybody gets snatched up there now. At least he went to a good spot. That's right.
Well, thank you, Chief, and a new officer.
Absolutely. I'm excited for him too. I'm glad we have him aboard, and we're going to continue to move forward with our department. And like I said, we're open to any suggestions. And right now, we're taking the strides that I think we need to take in the city, and I think it's going to work out well for us. And I hope you guys know that as well.
I have to concur with you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Jim.
Welcome aboard, Garrett.
Come, Garrett. Garrett. Hey, Jim.
Welcome, Garrett.
Make him pay for dinner, Schmick.
Okay.
Break him in right.
City manager statement.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I have an announcement. As you all know, we're going to be embarking on a remodel here of City Hall, so I just want to make a public announcement. Starting August 9th, 8 a.m., the temporary location of City Hall will be located at 550 Supply Road, the new transit center. And that's where staff will be operating out of, and that's where citizens will go for the services that they're getting here currently. Except for one service which we won't be performing for 60 days, and that's notary services.
City Council will be there or here?
We will have the last city council meeting. The first August meeting is August 6th. After that, they will take place at the transit center in the old Dorado room.
Okay. When they do their renovation, will they make a bigger area here behind us for the presentations and photo ops? Or have another seal somewhere else where we can do the photo ops?
Well, we'll probably have a photo op somewhere else.
Somewhere else?
Yeah.
He's a little tied up here. Thank you.
Thank you.
City attorney statement?
Thank you, no statement.
Thank you. And future agenda requests?
Not here.
None, Mayor.
Okay. Consent calendars, items 10 through 14. All items listed on the consent calendar shall be considered routine and will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the City Council requests specific items to be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Any item removed from the consent calendar will be considered after regular business items. Are there any items on the consent calendar that the member of the public would like to comment on? Seeing none.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, before you, am I on? Okay. Before you proceed, I'd just like to explain that with Mayor Knorr gone today, we obviously only have 4 of you, and 2 members of the City Council, because of either an actual or a perceived conflict of interest, I expect will be recusing themselves from item number 12, so I would ask that that be pulled and be continued to another agenda.
So noted.
Thank you.
Okay, number 10, minutes of July 2nd, 2019 regular meeting. Number 11, payments of bills. Totaling about $140,000. Yeah. And number 12 is pulled. Number 13, International Council of Shopping Centers, ICSC Western Division Conference and Deal Making Expo. Number 14, authorization to submit a regional surface transportation application to KernCog for rehabilitation of 10th Street from A Street to Pilgrim Avenue. Do I have a motion?
So do we need to ask that item 12 be tabled, or is that deemed?
That's right
Cool.
there.
Awesome. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Anybody want to pull, any council member want to pull any particular item off of here?
Only item 12.
None? May I have a,
Mayor Pro Tem Pryor,
yes,
Councilmember Bryant.
Yes.
Councilmember Evelyn.
Yes.
Councilmember Whiting.
Yes.
passes on 4-0. Now I'll close our council to closed session and be considered a conference for legal counsel, anticipated litigation, Government Code Section 54956-9, one potential case, and B, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, conference Section 54956.9, Taft Union High School versus City of Taft. And also C, will be conference with real property negotiator Craig Jones, City Manager, Government Code Section 54956.8 for APN number 032-110-30 and 032-110-70 and 71. I can adjourn the meeting. Thank you.